What if everything you've been told about discipline is wrong? You've been told discipline requires willpower, that you need to force yourself, that you must fight against your own desires every single day, that discipline is supposed to be hard. But here's what nobody tells you. The most disciplined people in history didn't fight themselves. They didn't rely on willpower. They didn't wake up every morning engaged in a brutal internal war. They discovered something different, something that made discipline feel as natural as breathing. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai who won over 60 duels to the death, trained relentlessly every single day of his life. He woke before dawn. He practiced sword forms for hours. He meditated. He created art. He wrote philosophy. He never stopped. And yet, there's no record of Musashi ever struggling with motivation. No evidence he fought against himself. No sign he needed to force his own discipline. Why? Because Musashi understood something about human nature that modern science is only now beginning to confirm. He discovered what I call the flow system, a method that transforms discipline from a daily battle into an effortless current that carries you forward. Today, you'll learn exactly how this system works. And when you understand it, you'll realize that the discipline you've been chasing, the discipline that always felt just out of reach, was never supposed to feel like a fight at all. Before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. What area of your life do you struggle most to stay disciplined? I read every comment, and your feedback shapes future content. Now, back to the video. Chapter 1, The Exhausted Warrior. The story I'm about to tell you happened to a young man named Kenji. Kenji was 26 years old, working as an engineer in Osaka. On paper, his life looked successful. Good job, good salary, good future. But inside, Kenji was at war with himself. Every morning, his alarm rang at 5 a.m. He had committed to waking early, exercising, reading, meditating, all the things successful people do. And every morning, the same battle began. His body wanted to stay in bed. His mind started negotiating. Just 10 more minutes. You worked late yesterday. One day won't matter. You can start fresh on Monday. Sometimes willpower won. He'd drag himself out of bed, force himself through a workout, and feel exhausted before his day even started. Most times, willpower lost. He'd hit snooze, wake up late, skip the workout, and carry guilt with him all day. The pattern repeated with everything: eating healthy, studying for certifications, working on his side business. Every positive action required a fight. Every day depleted his mental energy before he could use it for anything meaningful. Kenji read every book on discipline. He tried every technique: habit stacking, temptation bundling, accountability partners, apps that tracked his streaks. Nothing worked for long. The willpower would surge for a week, maybe 2, then it would collapse, and Kenji would find himself back at zero, more exhausted and more disappointed than before. One evening, after another failed attempt at his morning routine, Kenji sat in a small park near his apartment. He was tired, not physically, something deeper, tired of fighting himself. That's when he noticed an old man practicing sword forms in the corner of the park. The man moved slowly, deliberately. Each movement flowed into the next like water. There was no strain on his face, no effort visible in his body, just smooth, continuous motion. Kenji watched for 20 minutes. The old man never stopped, never paused, never showed any sign of fatigue. When the practice ended, Kenji approached. "Excuse me, sir, I watched you practice. You moved for so long without stopping. Aren't you tired?" The old man smiled. "Tired? Why would I be tired? I wasn't doing anything." Kenji frowned. "But you were practicing sword forms for 20 minutes straight." "My body was moving, but I wasn't fighting my body. There's no tiredness when there's no fight." These words struck Kenji like lightning. No tiredness when there's no fight. He had been fighting himself every single day. No wonder he was exhausted. "Can you teach me?" Kenji asked. "I struggle with discipline. Everything feels like a battle." The old man studied him for a long moment. "Come to this park tomorrow at 5 a.m. If you're here, I'll show you what Musashi knew. If you're not, don't come looking for me again." Chapter 2. The First Principle, Top Fighting. Kenji arrived at 4:45 a.m. He hadn't slept well. The old negotiation had played in his mind all night, but something about the old man's words had cut through the noise. The old man was already there, sitting in stillness. "You came. Good. Sit." Kenji sat on the cold ground. "Tell me," the old man said, "when you try to be disciplined, what happens inside you?" Kenji thought carefully. "It's like there are two parts of me. One part wants to do the right thing, another part wants comfort. They fight. And who usually wins? The part that wants comfort, eventually." The old man nodded. "This is why you fail. You've created a war inside yourself. And in war, both sides lose something. Even when your disciplined side wins, it costs you energy. That's why discipline feels exhausting." He picked up a stick and drew in the dirt, two arrows pointing at each other. "This is you. Force against force, willpower against desire. Every day the same battle. Every day you lose energy whether you win or lose." Kenji stared at the arrows. It was exactly how he felt. "Now," the old man continued, "let me show you what Musashi understood." He erased the arrows and drew a single line flowing like a river. Musashi didn't fight himself. He didn't use willpower to overcome desire. He made discipline and desire the same thing. He removed the war entirely. How is that possible? By understanding why you resist in the first place. Your resistance isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Your body and mind resist what feels threatening, unfamiliar, or meaningless. They're trying to protect you. Kenji frowned. "So my laziness is protection?" Your so-called laziness is your system saying this doesn't feel safe or this doesn't feel like me. When you force discipline through willpower, you're overriding your own protective system. It works temporarily, but your system fights back. It always wins eventually because it never sleeps. The old man stood. Musashi's way is different. Instead of overriding the system, you work with it. You make discipline feel safe. You make it feel like you. When that happens, resistance disappears, and discipline becomes effortless. Chapter 3. The Flow System. Over the following weeks, the old man taught Kenji what he called the flow system, 5 principles that transform discipline from a battle into a current. Principle 1. Make it inevitable. Your problem, the old man explained, is that every morning you decide whether to be disciplined. Decision requires energy. Decision creates opportunity for resistance. He told Kenji about Musashi's daily life. Musashi didn't decide to train. Training was simply what happened after waking. There was no choice involved, no moment of decision where resistance could enter. Remove the decision entirely. Don't wake up and choose to exercise. Wake up and exercise before your mind realizes there was ever a choice. Kenji restructured his mornings. He slept in his workout clothes. His shoes waited by the bed. The moment his feet touched the floor, he was moving. No gap for resistance to enter. Within a week, the morning battle had disappeared. Not because Kenji had more willpower, because there was nothing to fight about. Principle 2. Make it small. Musashi practiced sword forms for hours, but he didn't start that way. He started with one form, then another, then another. The hours were built from minutes. The old man explained that resistance grows with the size of the task. When Kenji imagined an hour-long workout, his system saw threat. When he imagined 5 minutes, his system saw nothing worth fighting. Begin so small that resistance cannot find you. 5 push-ups, 1 page, 2 minutes of meditation. Your system won't resist what doesn't feel threatening. Kenji reduced everything. His ambitious morning routine became almost embarrassingly simple. 5 minutes of movement, 1 paragraph of reading, 60 seconds of stillness. And something strange happened. Without resistance blocking him, he often did more. The 5 minutes became 15. The paragraph became a chapter, not because he forced it, because momentum carried him forward once resistance stepped aside. Principle 3. Make it identity. This is the deepest principle, the old man said. Musashi didn't have discipline. He was disciplined. The practice wasn't something he did. It was who he was. He explained that humans don't resist what aligns with their identity. A musician doesn't force themselves to play music. A reader doesn't fight themselves to read. The action flows from who they are. You keep saying, "I need to be more disciplined." This creates separation. You hear discipline over there, something to reach for, to struggle toward. Instead, declare what you are. Not "I want to exercise." I am someone who moves every day. Not "I should read more." I am a reader. When identity shifts, behavior follows without force. Kenji began speaking differently, thinking differently. He stopped saying he was trying to build good habits. He started saying, "This is just what I do. This is who I am." The shift was subtle but profound. Resistance fades when you're not asking yourself to become someone else. You're simply being who you already are. Principle 4. Make it enjoyable. Musashi didn't suffer through his training. He loved it. The sword was his art, his meditation, his joy. That's why he could practice endlessly without burning out. The old man warned Kenji about the trap of discipline for its own sake. Forcing yourself to do things you hate in ways you hate builds resentment. Resentment builds resistance. Resistance builds exhaustion. Find the version of discipline that you can love. If you hate running, don't run. Walk, swim, dance. The movement matters more than the method. Kenji had been forcing himself to do workouts he despised because they were supposedly optimal. He switched to activities he genuinely enjoyed. The discipline remained. The suffering disappeared. Principle 5. Make it sacred. Finally, the old man said, Musashi treated his practice as sacred, not religious sacred. Sacred meaning set apart, protected, honored. He explained that when something is sacred, you don't negotiate with it. You don't skip it because you're tired. You don't bargain with it because something else came up. It exists beyond the reach of excuses. Your practice must become untouchable, not through force, but through reverence. You protect it because it matters. You honor it because it's building who you're becoming. Kenji began treating his morning practice differently, not as a chore to complete, but as an appointment with his future self. Something worthy of protection, something he wouldn't sacrifice for convenience. Chapter 4, The Transformation. 3 months passed. Kenji was unrecognizable, not physically, though that had changed too. Something deeper had shifted. He woke at 5 a.m. without an alarm. His body simply rose because that's what his body did. There was no negotiation, no battle, no exhausting internal argument. He moved through his morning practice like water. Exercise flowed into reading, flowed into meditation. No resistance, no force, just continuous motion. Colleagues at work noticed. "You seem different," one said. "More peaceful, but also more focused. How do you do it?" Kenji didn't know how to explain that he wasn't doing anything. The discipline was happening through him, not by him. The current was carrying him forward. One evening he returned to the park. The old man was there, practicing his sword forms. "You've learned," the old man said without turning around. "I think I'm beginning to understand." "Tell me." Kenji collected his thoughts. "Discipline isn't about force, it's about flow. When you fight yourself, you lose even when you win. When you remove the fight, discipline becomes effortless. The old man smiled. Musashi won 60 duels, but his greatest victory was the one nobody saw, the victory over his own resistance. He didn't defeat it through strength. He dissolved it through understanding. He turned to face Kenji. Most people spend their lives in war with themselves. They think that's normal. They think discipline must hurt. They don't realize there's another way. The flow system, Kenji said. The flow system. Make it inevitable. Make it small. Make it identity. Make it enjoyable. Make it sacred. Do these things, and you'll never fight yourself again. Chapter 5. The Science Behind the System. Modern neuroscience confirms what Musashi understood centuries ago. Willpower is a limited resource. Studies at Case Western Reserve University demonstrated that self-control depletes like a battery. The more decisions you make, the more resistance you overcome, the less willpower remains. This explains why discipline through force eventually fails. You're trying to power your entire life from a battery that drains with every use. But the flow system operates differently. When behavior becomes automatic, it bypasses the prefrontal cortex entirely. The basal ganglia takes over. This part of the brain runs habits without consuming conscious resources. This is why Kenji's morning practice became effortless. It wasn't that he developed superhuman willpower. His practice moved from conscious decision to automatic habit. The battery was no longer required. Research on identity-based behavior change supports this further. A study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that people who identify as exercisers, rather than people trying to exercise, maintain their habits significantly longer with significantly less perceived effort. When behavior aligns with identity, there's no internal conflict. You're not forcing yourself to do something foreign. You're simply expressing who you are. The enjoyment principle also has scientific backing. Activities that trigger dopamine release become self-reinforcing. You don't need willpower to do what feels good. By finding enjoyable versions of disciplined behavior, you recruit your brain's reward system as an ally rather than fighting against it. Chapter 6. Your Path Forward. Here is the truth you need to understand. Discipline was never meant to be a war. The struggle you've experienced isn't proof of your weakness. It's proof that you've been using the wrong approach. Musashi didn't have more willpower than you. He had a different relationship with action itself. The flow system isn't complicated, but it requires you to release everything you've been taught about forcing yourself, fighting yourself, overcoming yourself. You don't need to overcome yourself. You need to align yourself. Make discipline inevitable by removing decision points. Make it small enough that resistance cannot find it. Make it identity by declaring who you are, not what you're trying to become. Make it enjoyable so your brain works with you, not against you. Make it sacred so it becomes untouchable. Do these things and the war ends. Not because you won, because you stopped fighting. And in that peace, you'll discover something remarkable. The discipline you chased for so long wasn't hiding from you. It was waiting for you to stop struggling, to stop forcing, to let it flow. Musashi's secret was never the sword. It was the silence inside him, the absence of conflict, the flow. Now it's your turn. If this video helped you understand discipline differently, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell for future content. Tell me in the comments which principle resonates most with you. Make it inevitable, make it identity, make it sacred. Remember, discipline that feels like war is discipline that will eventually lose. But discipline that flows, that becomes who you are, that kind of discipline never runs out. Because you can't exhaust what you're not fighting. If you've watched this far, thank you for your attention. You've already demonstrated the focus most people lack. Now go, stop fighting yourself, start flowing. See you in the next video.